So this information session is all about what we offer as training options in OSINT and PII investigations, as well as signature reduction training and digital force protection. So before we go forward, let's do a quick introduction. So myself, my name is Gabriella Bazzotti, but I go by Gabby. Nice to meet y'all. I have been doing open source analysis since about 2011, both on the commercial side and the Department of Defense side, largely supporting organizations such as NGA, DIA, and Army First IO. So you might see me instructing, especially subjects such as content analysis, looking at geospatial analysis, but I'm also the open enrollment manager. So if at the end of this y'all are interested in our courses, I am your gal. With that, I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic to Adam Udvig.
All right, thank you, Gabby. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And quick introduction, my name is Adam, and I have been in the security, military, intelligence realm for over 26 years. I am the director of training here at BlackHorse, and my job is basically to take all of our different lessons learned over the last decade in the open source world and put it down into easy to digest and learnable little modules for all the courses that we run. So started out private sector security, moved into the Marine Corps, did SIGINT, HUMINT, counterintelligence, transitioned after 13 years over to DIA, did the DIA CI special agent, then moved over to the Joint Counterintelligence Training Activity. That's where I learned about this brand new course called CLEO. Loved it so much that I jumped ship, came over to BlackHorse and began building the wonderful courses that we've got today, and then helped all of our other instructors kind of expand out into some of the stuff that you're going to see here. So that's me. Well met. And I will now pass this over to Rick.
Okay. With any luck, I've unmuted both mics. Good morning. How's it going? Or I guess afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. My name is Rick Dawson. I have, like Adam, extensive military experience. I spent 4 years in the Marine Corps and then the next 24 in the Army. The last 17 of that was in Special Forces, where I did a lot of things related to intelligence and signature reduction. With BlackHorse, I'm currently the signature reduction manager, and we'll be talking about some of those courses for those of you who aren't familiar with commercial signature reduction. In my spare time, I also have a master's in software development and a dual master's in international relations. So I develop universally communicable software when I can. Or you could go through the certified ethical hacker side, and I exploit software wherever I can find it. And that's essentially me. Network security and commercial signature reduction. And I'll pass it right back to Gabby.
Thank you so much, y'all. We are just 3 of a wider team. A couple of instructors are here today, and we all love what we do and come from various different backgrounds. So now that you know us, let's do a little quick intro of who we work for. BlackHorse Solutions. So BlackHorse has been around since 2017, started as a small veteran-founded business, and our customers are largely part of the federal, state, local, commercial, and international organizations and governments. In July 2021, we became part of Parsons, and we look forward to expanding there. Now, our mission writ large is to secure the nation by defending, operating within, and exploiting the information environment. And how do we do that? We've got 5 different sectors within the company: full spectrum cyber, radio spectrum exploitation, virtual operations, and advanced cryptography. If you have questions about those sectors, I am happy to pass those on to the appropriate people because we are part of technical operations. Now, technical operations largely covers subject matter expertise in research and analysis production, but our bread and butter is really training. And so our trainings, we're going to parse out into 3 sections. OSINT and PII, that's open source intelligence and publicly available information, is largely met by our CLEO suite of courses. signature reduction and digital force protection, that is our CSR suite, which Rick is going to talk about, and the advanced suite of courses, which is the next level up from the previous two sections. Adam will be covering that towards the end of this brief. So OSINT and PAI. This is largely the realm that I swim in. So our CASO suite of courses largely cover things like folks that serve mission sets in force protection, counterintelligence, target development and pattern of life, and tipping and queuing. But if you aren't really part of those sort of nomenclatures within those mission sets, CASO and its derivative courses serve those who are interested in digital investigations. So as an OSINT primer, we can meet that need. But what is CASO? I'm going to talk about CASO first because this is our foundational flagship course. It is a 2-week course. Yes, it's long, but it is full of good info, whereby we give students 1 or 2 or more main research topics to go after, by which we then take our methodology, which is discovery, synthesis, and analysis, and we take that iterative methodology to attack different subjects like those that you see on the course schedule. So we go from legal and online attribution considerations through research planning, social media and search, geolocation, dark web, content analysis, photo and video verification, all the way through propaganda and even state level campaigns. Now, what differentiates CASO from our other courses is that there is a deliverable at the end of these 2 weeks. We have students work together to be able to create something that is actionable, some actionable insights that they can take home to their units, their organizations, and continue to build their skill sets from there. So, like I said, CASO is our foundational 2-week course. Now, that's a pretty big lift, right? So we have, oh, and on top of that, the 2-week course, which is a pretty big lift, this is catered to our US government and partner nation forces. So let's say that you don't serve an active government contract or you are not directly employed by the US government or otherwise, we have 3 courses that are open to everyone. And don't let these small boxes fool you. We have 82, 3D, and dark web seminar. Now, 82 is my favorite class to teach, so don't tell anybody that, but it is our 1-week course that essentially takes the best of CASO and condenses it down and makes it usable to you, trying to focus on attribution, looking and finding all of the available data at your fingertips. Now, as an OSINT primer, that's a good one. If you don't have a week, we have 3D, which is actually a 2-day course, and we call this the manager's course. Why? Because this course really caters to those who manage a team and want to know what is possible in the information environment. So let's say you're a manager or you work for a manager who doesn't have a lot of time and they need to direct or guide their teams towards a particular mission or outcome. 3D is going to be for those people. It's a high-level overview of attribution, free and open source tool sets, and just an introduction into the available search and technical skills needed to guide. Now, the third open to all course that we have is the dark web seminar. And this is for anyone and everyone who wants to know what the heck the dark web is, how to get on it, it's easier than you think, and how to use it and research with it. So this is a 1-day primer and it's a lot of fun. So ultimately, our OSINT and PAI geared courses are to help you be able to fail fast and fail often. That is what we as instructors often tell our students, because there is so much data out there. So you have to be able to do that, to parse through the noise, to find a refined and applicable answer to whatever you are looking for. So really, that is what our OSINT and PAI courses cater to. So this is where I'm going to pass the mic over to Rick. He's going to talk about CSR. But if you have any questions, please put them in the chat and we'll address them towards the end. So Rick, all yours.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Gabby. That's great. As Gabby said, CASO is kind of our flagship, and it's designed to get after information. CSR is the reverse side of that coin. As an investigator, CSR is there to show you how to prevent other people from enumerating and attributing you, right? So there are a couple different ways that we get after that. We get after the electronic security aspect, signature reduction itself, as far as social media, device signature reduction. And then we talk about digital identity management. So, and this is, we have well, I'll get into that in just a second, but it's a basic course for 1 week long, right? And the cyber information and environmental operations and the digital operations and preparation of the environment really are more toward the advanced and managers course. Let's take a quick look at the breakdown of the basic course first. Can you hit the slide? Thank you. So what we do in commercial signature reduction is we break down the key components of identity, your personal, your mission, your professional, and we walk through different ways to protect those. A lot of our CSR training is for government clients with very specific requirements. So our CSR training is usually very specifically tailored to those requirements. In this venue, that's as much detail as I can give you, but imagine that you have certain mission sets in certain global areas. And so when you come to CSR, we'll talk about and walk through the threat model for your specific area. And as you can see in the schedule below, and then that will kind of drive what specific steps need to be taken for basic computer security, what kind of account authentication and virtualization might work for you in those environments, and also tailored to various mission sets, right? So we have like 3 general broad areas, the digital data protection. So where we're talking about the data that you have on your devices or that you're using in transit. Device deployment, that's a number of different devices. When we start to talk about the advanced course, we get a couple different things, but right now in the basic course, we'll give you things like YubiKey for multi-factor authentication, and then walk you through how to use it, even on your home systems. Travel routers, what they're used for, and where to get them, and how to configure them properly, right? And then a lot of stuff on hardware. You see, device cloning, Mac cloning, how to set up a VPN, who you should set up a VPN with, which just seems to be a moving target these days. Hopefully no one's gotten any VPNs for free out of the Android marketplace recently. But all of those things, right? And then we go through a certification and we do an actual process where you get to walk through hands-on all of the equipment that you're going to be taking home from the 1 week course, and you configure it and you set it up for yourself. We also have the option of people bringing in their personal devices, and we'll walk them through configuring that. If you aren't familiar with things like browser hardening in Firefox, there's the easy way to do it and there's the long way to do it. So we'll take both of those steps, but in the end, you'll walk away with the ability to do the easy version. Awesome. And that is the CSR basic course, right? That's our initial, focused on individual protection, protecting yourself, protecting your family, both at home while you're traveling. And speaking of traveling, this would be a great time to hand over to Mr. Adam Udvig.
All right, thanks. Our Safe Traveler course is our online video course. So this was created with the in mind of people that didn't have like all day to sit in a class for multiple days to try to learn some of the basics that we teach in CSR. I like to describe this as a course that I could give to my kids. I actually gave it to my father-in-law. And over a period of about a week, he went through all of the different videos, and he was able to learn how to secure, himself and his devices just in everyday use, and also when he was traveling. He was going overseas, and he just wanted to make sure that he was safe. So he was able to pass the test. And it's self-paced. And it's about 8 modules that are broken up into 25 different video vignettes. So we take it in little, bite chunks, and it allows you to learn the basic tenets of the security, but also then breaks it off so that you can go do your own research, understand your own personal devices, and apply everything that we're teaching you. So we offer up a license for anywhere between 2 weeks to a month, depending on the contract that we do with you. It's about $500 per license. And it's the most basic level training that we give for security that literally students, high school students, all the way through our elders are able to take, understand, break it down in a small enough amount of time that they are able to finish it on their own schedule. Again, this is all proactive security. You can travel, you can sit at home, you can take it wherever, you can access this on mobile devices, and you can listen in on your commute if you need to. We do give 2 individual exercises that you complete along with access to our instructors. If there's any questions, if there's any recommendations that you may need as you're going through the learning process. And then after the end of that certification, or the 2 exercises, you do receive your certification. Now, as we're going to talk about in a little bit, Safe Traveler is actually part of some pipelines that have been established by our customers. And I'll show you in a little bit exactly how that fits in, starting from the very basic ideas and then building upon each block of instruction through multiple different courses to have a pipeline of training overall for different, different clients. But you can see down below, in the training modules, these are all the things that we cover. It's approximately 8 to 10 hours of video, depending on how many times you want to go back and re-listen to it, redo it. But you can do it in a weekend easily. But like I said, my father-in-law took about a week to finish it up. So that's Safe Traveler, $500 license. All right.
So from here, we're going to transition to talking about our advanced courses. These are for graduates of CASO and CSR, but like I said, if you are the regular OSINT practitioner, we have ways to tailor courses for teams. So for advanced courses, I'm going to pass this back to Adam to start talking about a couple of them quickly about that are for our CASO grads in particular. But again, if you are interested in this kind of stuff, talk to us. We'll work with you.
All right, thanks, Gabby. The dark web we actually touch on in CASO. We touch on it in a number of our basic courses, and we've got the dark web seminar that we mentioned earlier. And that's a 1-day seminar. We have had a lot of interest in a much longer version of diving in and establishing operations and searches within dark web outside of just Tor. So we decided to create the dark web immersion course, and that's 5 days, all-inclusive training. We provide training platforms that allow the students to actually get onto the dark web without using their own platform. So they just get in virtually, use one of our virtual desktops, and then get into the dark web. We start out with Tor, I2P, then we start exploring how to do and how to recognize when people are advertising private comms. And then we begin looking at crypto training and do some basic crypto analytics. And that's over 5 days. Okay. And then CASO 2 is depending on the flavor that you want to perform, either a 4-day or 5-day course on analytic fusion cell professionals trying to take your CASO experience and then meld that into actual reporting that you would be in a way that you would actually be performing your reporting in that fusion cell. We also have an offshoot of that CASO 2 that is more for advanced research. We've had some requests from other clients that said, we want to take CASO, but we want to do CASO advanced and also get our CASO folks re-blued or recertified. So the CASO 2 does a couple of different things. But at the very end of it, if you've been out of CASO for about anywhere between 1 and 2 years, you can take the 1-week CASO 2 course and then get re-CASO certified. All right. And then Rick.
Rick, I think you're
Ever hit the wrong mute button?
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. So we've got the kind of follow on that we've had from CSR are the investigational Python. As I mentioned, I have a master's in software development. So we found that a lot of our OSINT investigators are using Python tools. And a big ask from that is, hey, this thing just stopped working today, or it's not doing what I want it to. I need a different output, or I need to be able to save these things. Awesome. Absolutely. And you should be able to. So, but you don't need to reinvent the wheel. So what investigational Python does is it takes you from really, if you don't, even with no programming background, we take you through what object-oriented languages are, how to build an object in Python, and then go straight into things like file storage, data manipulation, and being able to troubleshoot someone else's code to get it to work with what you want, right? Additionally, plugging different libraries in, Twitter to scrape Twitter. I'm just going to use Twitter as an example because, quite frankly, it is one of the trickiest ones to scrape consistently. So you always, it's the eternal arms race, right? So being able to plug in the latest and greatest to go after something like Twitter, and that's all Python. The last time we did a project, we had the client decided they wanted to go and do a dark web web validator, right? So they, within a week, with no programming background, by the end of that week, they had a program that would ingest a list of dark web addresses, domains, and validate that they were still up, and grab the headers and give just a quick synopsis of this is up at this time, and here's what their headers look like. Here's what they say they are, which could save you a lot of time, especially if you're pulling stuff off paste bins. Kali Linux, based on another ask that we've had from a number of clients, hey, how do I use Kali Linux? Yes, it's a penetration testing tool, but that's kind of like OSINT, right? It turns out there are a ton of OSINT tools available in Kali. Sorry, video froze. So we'll take Kali Linux. If you're not familiar with the command line, we'll get you familiar with the command line. Some basic text manipulation tools, how to search, how to edit config files, getting familiar with Vim and Nano and all those things that get Kali Linux up and running for you. Man, my video is just not my day. And Kali Linux up and running for you, and using it in OSINT investigation. Another big thing that we've discovered is a lot of people need to share data, but there's not a great mechanism for doing that necessarily, or a lot of people are looking for a better one. So I'll walk you through how to use Jupyter Notebooks to set up an online page where everyone can collaborate on your local network. And there you go, all from your local machine or from a VM, depending on what you want to do. So that's Kali Linux and investigational Python.
And Rick, just to clarify, to take these classes once you've graduated from CAISO, you do not have to have experience in Python or Kali Linux, correct?
Nope. Most of the people have just the vaguest acquaintance with Linux, and most of them not Python at all.
And it's a great primer if you're looking to get into, any other training, specifically like ethical hacker course, things like that. This will prep you really well for that.
Right. Now, if you've graduated CSR Basic, we also have a couple other courses. Number one over here, the executive course, much like the 3D, this is more for leaders who are looking to understand what sort of attribution management they need to employ or what could be employed. So this is the short course in here is the realm of the possible. Here are different technologies that can be put in place, and oftentimes we'll tailor it to a unit that's been through CSR and be able to say, here's what your guys are looking at employing, and here's how that breaks down. For the advanced course, so imagine the CSR Basic is you protecting yourself. CSR Advanced is for operators who will be handling organizational management, attribution management. So if you have someone who's designated as your team lead for whatever sort of attribution management you're doing, this is sort of for them. We go into setting up VPNs and cloud instances. By the end of CSR Advanced, you will be able to roll your own VPN with using WireGuard in a cloud instance and connect remote terminals in about 15 minutes from go. Promise. And we also bring in other things. We go through setting up a Raspberry Pi for local storage or to drop and go. We have a number of other specialized modules that we can drop in depending on client preferences. Talk to us later. And there have been certain times, and Adam will talk about this when we talk about pipelines, that we've added modules for specific clients when they needed to build a pipeline for an operational need. The manager's course is commercial signature reduction for people who need to plan out and architect out organizations, organizational planning, greater depth of risk analysis, and being able to tie together usually geographically separated entities for working as a team. A lot of this goes to back support, anyone who's doing OSINT forward or in areas where they need specific types of internet or other access. So the manager's course, we get into some cellular and other radio frequency based signature reduction, as well as how to maintain communications using all sorts of available things, including the dark web, which in my personal opinion is the poor man's VPN. So, yep, you heard that here. All right, and so those are kind of our CSR advanced courses.
These are just some bespoke pipelines that we just wanted to show you for contractors. We had, very basic. We started out with 82 to give the basic understanding of how to, get good at OSINT. Here's some good methodologies. Here are some free tools. Here's where you can go to find additional stuff. Zoom go. Then we give you personal security training, and then we start giving you a more in-depth dark web course, right? So that's an individual of a contract pipeline that we created for customers. For the manager track, we've done a couple of things. This is not just for DoD, but also private sector. Folks that are going to be traveling overseas to conduct business. We give them the 3D, which is the 2-day overview of our OSINT track, and then we give them Safe Traveler. So they have those videos that they can learn how to secure their devices. They're ready to go. They're busy people. It's on their own time. It's a very shortened pipeline for those travelers. Then you've got the military, DoD, civilians, federal law enforcement. Depending on the mission set, we kind of take our courses that we showed you, and then they get to pick what they want. We throw those in there along with the mission track. We tie everything in, and then based on the timeline that they've established, we execute. And we've done that for a number of years. And this is for not just US, but also our foreign partners. We've got ITAR licensing that's already preset, and it's eminently changeable. The instructors are the true strength in these pipelines because they're the ones that can take the methodology and match it to the mission set. And that is the other piece of the bespoke that is part of these pipelines. And then the local law enforcement track, again, we've got like CSR that's in there, Safe Traveler, 82, dark web, and CSR. You can see where it starts basic, and then we begin building with a methodology towards a more artful response to the capabilities of these tracks. That's it. Was that short enough?
Yeah, that was great. Now, if any of these courses we've come across, you're looking at them and you're like, oh, I want to shop around and pick and choose, talk to us. We will work with you. I promise we don't bite. So with that, hopefully through this, not only did you get a sense of the courses that we teach, the types of subjects that we train, but also a sense of how to go about approaching what can be done in the information environment. So if you came here hoping to get, some TTPs, whether if it's OSINT or SIG Redux, hopefully you got little bits and pieces of that, but mostly today was all about just letting you all know what we have to offer. I will end with saying that our open enrollment pre-scheduled classes, they're all online. However, if you got a group, you want to do an in-person, we do travel, and we have classrooms in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and Herndon, Virginia. So we will, now that the world is sort of opening back up and we've got all of our safety precautions as needed. We will do in person, and we look forward to seeing you, whether it is face-to-face or online. So I think with that, we'll close
Please,
out.
more face-to-face.
Yeah, more face-to-face. Extroverts like me are dying over here. But we do appreciate the time, and hope to see you in class. I'll send information following up, and I hope everyone has a fantastic day. Thank you so much.
Thanks so
Thank
much,
you.
All
everybody.
right, thanks, everybody.
Very good.
Thanks, and keep up the community facilitation, much needed.